Hello guys, welcome back to the plot. It is the 16th of June and it is grey and it is cold and it is miserable. It has been the rainiest week that I've ever known ever in my entire life. Literally been non-stop torrential rain all week, which has got its ups and its downs. It's been absolutely hammering it down here, so the plot's had a good water. All my water butts are full, but I've not been able to get down here, and I don't know how the plants will react to it. That amount of water and this sort of cold weather, everything seems a bit stunted, a little bit behind where it should be at this time of year, but we just got to crack on, haven't we? Now, the water butt behind me feeds off my shed roof up there. This thing was like down here, it's about a 1200 litre tank. It's about 700 litres gone, so that means in the last week 700 litres of water, that's about 150 gallons of water has fallen just on my shed roof. So you times that across the entire plot, it's absolutely ridiculous. I've never known anything like it. Yesterday we had hailstones as well in the middle of June, so it's been a right mixed bag actually. It's been quite entertaining. As I say, things are not doing badly, but they are a long way behind where they were last year, because this time last year we were all complaining about the heat wave. It was dead dry and hot this year, dead cold and wet, so you've got to adapt, roll with the punches if you like, so it is what it is. Right, one of the best helping hands that you can have on the allotment comes from these guys. Yeah, it looks like eggs, it looks like a bad thing, but believe me, it's not. They hatch out into these little guys here. You see that little guy there? Looks a bit suspicious, doesn't he? But he's not. He's going to grow up into one of your best friends. And then you'll see him get a little bit bigger again. Look at that. I'm sure you all know what these are and what they all grow into. And then after they've pupated and grow out, you've got these guys here, your ladybirds. Now these are absolute voracious carnivores. They eat these little guys here, the black fly. Now that might look like a bit of a bad infestation, because it is pretty much, but on my artichokes here, every single one of these stems was completely covered in black fly last week. Since then the ladybirds have moved in and it's not such a problem anymore. Loads of these guys, loads of the larvae, which means that they're all breeding away healthily as well. You gotta love a ladybird. So yeah, just goes to show, those little yellow eggs, you might see them and think, oh, nasty bug, but they're not. And then when you see those little black bugs, you might think, oh, nasty bug, but they're not. They're all ladybirds, and they all need looking after. Obviously, if you use any sort of pesticides or anything to get rid of your black fly, they ain't going to have any food. So if you want a decent balance in your garden, you've got to have the food, the black fly, you've got to have the predators, which is the ladybirds, and everything else that feeds upon them. So, use of pesticides and washing up liquids and everything like that is fair enough, but you're not going to be creating any sort of habitat for your friendly bugs. So I always think that, a bit of a nice balance is always best. You fly in there with the pesticides, you're creating an imbalance in nature, and that's always going to result in one thing. You're either going to have too many of one thing, too much of another, So, just keep it natural, guys. Well guys, despite the elements, the peas seem to be doing alright at this point. They're all coming on quite nicely. Still can't tell if I've got any pea moth in there, but I'll still get some lovely tasty pea pods off of those. So at the minute they're looking a bit flat. There's absolutely nothing stopping you harvesting and eating those at the minute, as they are. Stir fry them, boil them, whatever, steam them. But yeah, you can also wait for the peas to fatten up and harvest them as you would a normal garden pea. So yes. Lovely peas. What have we got in here? Little broad bean. Lovely. They will get a lot bigger than that, but you can start to harvest them now. There's no reason why not. Nice. There he is. The pea bean weevil. He's the guy that's responsible for the little knot-shaped cutouts on the edge of your leaves. Not too much of a problem really, I'd rather just leave them to it if I'm honest. At least I know that my crop's nice and healthy and organic. Right, my onions continue to defy all of nature's best efforts to scupper them. They seem to be alright, fingers crossed on the old allium leaf miner. All the leaves seem to be quite straight, so they seem alright. The leaf miner, if you've got that, your leaves will all curl up and, sort of mangle up and start to look a bit deformed. But these ones are all standing straight like little soldiers. Yeah, these guys are all standing up lovely, look at them. a very interesting comment that I had last week actually on one of my videos. I was complaining about one of my potato plants not doing too well. Somebody came through with a comment about companion planting. Now I'll show you what the main issue was that I was facing. All of my potato plants all look quite uniform, they all look quite green and lush, apart from this one at the end, which is showing some signs of yellowing. It's showing, you know, it's a little bit stunted compared to the others. If I get down to ground level, you see it's just sitting a little bit lower than the others. Now this comment revolved around sunflowers, saying that sunflowers are not good companions for potatoes and they actually inhibit and stunt their growth. Now I had a sunflower growing in that exact position last year. From that I've also got sunflowers coming up from seed that have just volunteered themselves. Now there you go, there's the proof about companion planting. So whatever it is that sunflower's put into the ground, that potato did not like it. It's still growing away, it still looks alright, but as you can see, the companion planting has definitely got something to play in it. You have a look, dead small plants, and then they sort of grow up, and this is the area where I had the sunflower last year. So there you go, thank you very much for that tip. I shall try and rotate and avoid in future. As it is for now, everything's staying where it is, but you know, you live and you learn. Hello Mr. Cosmos. That's the first of my Cosmos flowers coming out there. He is looking a bit bedraggled, what with all the weather that we've been having. Say hailstone storm last night, giving him a bit of a beating, but yeah, you look pretty. Right, the change in my garlic this week's been quite dramatic actually. We've gone from the green plants of last week to these. They've gone really yellow. They've started to throw up all of the scapes, every other one has. So I think it's time for a garlic harvest. I don't want to leave them in this damp weather too long as well, because there's a chance of them rotting. So my garlic's coming out. Watch this space, garlic. Woo! Sorry. Very serious. Well, the rain persists with persisting. It's another dreary, wet day, unfortunately. Yeah, it's drizzling right now as I speak, which is putting kind of, you know, paid to any plans that I had really. Which I did have a lot. I wanted to cut my grass, I wanted to cut my hedges, because outside at the minute, as you can see, that's the pathway behind me, that's pretty well blocked. All of these hedgeways are completely all overgrown, and looking back down there as well, these hedges are starting to encroach on the pathway and blocking it all off. It's just whether I can, you know, get anything done in this rain. It's somewhere in between heavy and what it is now, like, you know, that fine wet stuff that gets you wet. That's the main problem with rain, it's too wet. Don't get me wrong, as a gardener I love the rain, I really do, but after a week and a half of it solid, you start to get a little bit bored with it, you know what I mean? Yes. So, yeah. That's it. I'm in a quandary. I'm in a conundrum. Don't know what to do. Oh dear. It's the middle of June. Shouldn't be like this. Ah dear. Just for a change, it's having a little bit of a rain. Why not, eh? Right guys, let's get some of these radishes out and have a look at them. Oh, they've not been thinned out too well, so we'll see what we get. Oh, lovely. Look at them. Just about perfect size as well for munching. Got some little ones in there, but they're lovely. Yeah. See, all the foliage has been absolutely nailed by flea beetles, but not affected the harvest any. And there we go, there they are, all washed up a little bit. It's not too bad going, is it? Give us something to nibble on. Hello! Radishes!